Okay, so I'm back with another video. Um, and as you can see here, this is just a document that I've created. Nothing special, just some sources, some information. So this is part 2 to my video um, as far as traveling without a license. So this is further information to add to the first video about the proof. The first thing that we need to establish is that you have a God given right. No one can take your rights that the Creator has given you. That's just plain and simple. No one can take your rights that the Creator has given you. So, with that being said, um, the statutes, codes, what's considered laws were created to essentially control or make you believe that those are your rights, that they were given to you by the government. The government does not give you rights, they grant you privileges. That is the biggest difference. They grant you privileges, they do not give you rights. Your creator, God, Allah, whatever you call your creator, that is who gave you your rights. So, with that being said and established, understand that when you're dealing with statutes, codes, even if they're called laws, they're still privileges or rules that a set of people have made up. So now that that's established, and if that's not clear, just go back to my first video and watch that video so that you can see or understand the difference between statutes, codes, and all of that. Um, it's not a detailed video. Again, I do offer courses. Excuse me. I do offer courses. So, yeah, let's get right into it. You're more than welcome to go and look these things up. This is just a general, I'm just making a general point. When people say, oh, do you know what you're doing? Or you got to be careful, you don't know, and that's not the law, and this is that, and that is this, and da, 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 da. Maybe you guys should read. Reading is fundamental, people. Okay, so these are just some cases cited by the courts. So I'll give you guys a second to look at those. Now, notice when it says people, these are state cases. So, People versus Spencer, that's what you'll always see when you're going into court within your state. Um, New York versus Berger or things like that, like these up here at the top, those are when you're doing federal cases. And we continue. Again, more cases here, but there's just a few points that I'm going to be pointing out today. So, more case laws. Again, just take a look at these. Always, always, this is one thing that I teach in my courses. Always, you must always um, double check your resources. So, no matter what, you must double check your resources. Okay, so let's read here. A vehicle not used for commercial activity. A vehicle not used for commercial activity is a consumer goods. It is not a type of vehicle required to be registered and use tax paid of which the tab is evidence of receipt of the tax. And you can see the resource right after it, or the source, citation, the case, whatever one calls it. There is a real distinction between goods purchased for personal use and those purchased for business use. The two are mutually exclusive, and the principal use to which the property is put should be considered as determinative. Excuse me. Okay, here. Automobile purchase for the purpose of transporting buyer to and from his place of employment was consumer goods as defined in UCC 9-109. So, I mean, that's clear as day. Automobile purchase for the purpose of transporting buyer to and from his place of employment was consumer goods. So now up here we've already established what consumer goods were. If not, go to UCC and that will establish or help you establish what a UCC, what a consumer good is. This is a good one. And again, these are just proof that you have a creator's right. Not a state right, not a federal right, not, this was given to you, endowed to you by the creator. So Chicago Coach Company versus City of Chicago. No law requires you to record, pledge your private automobile. Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll wait. No law requires you to record, pledge your private automobile. The fundamental right to travel is not a privilege. I'm going to read that again. The fundamental right to travel is not a privilege. It is a gift granted by your maker and by your maker and restated by our founding fathers as unalienable and cannot be taken away and cannot be taken by any man. I don't know what's wrong with my vision today. I'm just like all over the place. But anywho, government made law or color of law, known as a private code, secret, or a statute. Remember what statutes are. To wit, be not ev. Okay. As general rule, men have natural right to do anything which their inclinations may suggest if it okay, I don't know why that's there. But if it in itself and in no way impairs the rights of others. You got the generalization of it, right? Traveling is passing from place to place, actor performing journey, and traveler is person who travels. So let's move on. Oh, good one here. Traffic infractions are not a crime. Traffic infractions are not a crime. I mean, that's clear as day for people that are confused or are not aware or don't read or for whatever reason you believed that a traffic infraction was a crime. It's not a crime. A crime is harming someone or their property. That's a crime. Everything else is just a made up code or rule to say, hey, if you don't do this or if you do this, we're going to punish you. Because we are superior and we have the right to tell you what to do and to punish you if you don't do what we like or what we say. Follow our rules. So, what's the case when you go into someone's house? If you go into someone's house or home, you have to follow their rules. If you don't like their rules, if they say take your shoes off and you don't want to, what do? You leave. or they ask you to leave. Rightfully so. It's their home, their rules. You either do it or you don't have to. Same scenario with this. When you go into what's so-called courts, because they're not courts, the only thing that is supposedly, well, I mean, I would go into that all day because courts are tribunals. Tribunals are, anywho, that'll be another video because that will be all day. Um, so yeah, let's move on. And I don't know what's going on with this weather, but I do know what's going on with the weather, but it's just really beautiful and it's so odd. Loving it. Okay, let's go here. The use of a vehicle by its owner for purposes of traveling to and from his employment is a personal as opposed to a business use, as that term is used in UCC 9-109. Now remember, we already went over this. And the vehicle will be classified as consumer goods rather than equipment. I am just showing you the proof. I didn't make these things up. I'm just showing you the proof. And if you don't believe it, all you have to do is go to UCC 9-109 and check it. Google it right now. Google it right now and see what it says. It is the court's opinion that the use of a vehicle by its owner for purposes of traveling to and from his employment is a personal as opposed to a business use. Oh, wait, I already read that one. Did I have that twice? Yep. See, it's good. I like to make sure that I have it. So sometimes I have things twice. Um, Defining equipment as goods used or bought for use primarily in business. So again, it's just explaining that your personal vehicle, excuse me, your personal automobile, if we want to be specific, your personal automobile is for personal use. Should not be registered, should not be any of that. So why do we? That's the $1,000,000 question. All right. Again, all of these things will just help you understand. If you would like a copy, please contact me. I'll definitely email you a copy. Um, really good information. Just, again, it's just proof. It's not that you need this to state what you're stating. It's just always good to have the proof from their side and not just making, so people don't think you're making things up. Um, okay, so this is a good one. Um, so Title 18 provides that everyone from the trainer of law officers to the judge to the dispatcher to the director of revenue to the law officer himself may be named as conspirators in any kidnapping, i.e., what they might call an arrest, but which is rather a false arrest. So what that means is that basically, in layman's terms, if you didn't commit a crime, they shouldn't have been arresting you. Wait, you say it's that simple? Yes, that simple. If you didn't commit a crime, which is harming someone or their property, why are you being arrested? So, reading on. I'm going to skip this. Again, you guys are more than welcome. This is just for the purposes of the video. I'm going to read starting here. Or because of his having so exercised the same, or if two or more persons go in disguise on the highway or on the premises of another with intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege so secured, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned. So what is that saying? That's saying if someone hides, goes in disguise on the highway, like police officers hiding behind things, trees, and little spots, with intent to prevent or hinder your exercise of enjoyment of any rights or privilege. Self-explanatory. Hopefully, to most it is. To some, not so much. But we continue. And again, all this stuff is so good. The right of the citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property thereon, either by horse-drawn carriage or by automobile, is not a mere privilege which a city can prohibit. Is not a mere privilege which a city can prohibit or permit, but a common right which he has under the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The right of the citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property. So if you're in your private automobile, you have a right to travel without plates. I mean, it's that simple. We've seen a million videos. We've seen my mistake. So everyone is saying, oh, well, yeah, I didn't know half as much as I know now, which is the reason why I'm sharing, and I have my facts and ducks in order pretty much now. So, yeah, I had their plates. So technically, in a sense, they have a right to, um, it's essentially registering your automobile as their property. But again, my courses are available. That would take too long to cover in one short video. Um, all right, so moving along, there's just a few things that I wanted to specifically address. Um, Bear with me. Oh, so if anyone was looking for this, police cannot arrest a citizen for refusing to present ID. So when I see people saying, oh, you should have just given them your ID, it would have made things go smoother. Why do we continue? Why are we continuing to say and tell people and teach that we should just do things that clearly says we don't have to? I mean, just under the notion that you should know these things, um, unless you give someone superiority over you. That's the only way you belong to them, where they can tell you what to do. And usually the only way that happens is your parents. Okay, so I had some people that were like, yeah, you don't know what you're doing because you have to use your state codes. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. But the federal codes were just more general for people to get an understanding, because each state has typically the same codes. But we continue. So for 26 USC, so this is the United States Code, and it defines motor vehicle. What does it say? It says finance the acquisition of motor vehicles held for sale or lease. A motor vehicle that is any of the following: any self-propelled vehicle designed for transporting persons or property on a public street, highway, or road, a boat, farm, machinery, or equipment. And then there's your source. So, again, we continue. For the purposes of New York State, Title 1, Article 1, blase, blase, blah, you see it there. Limited use vehicle. That definition defines motor vehicle. So what is the definition of motor vehicle? Every vehicle operated or driven upon a public highway which is propelled by any power other than muscular power. And then you can read the rest, but I'll jump down to B, section B. Vehicles which run only upon rails or tracks. And we'll jump down to the next highlighted section here, or bold section. Motor vehicles shall exclude fire and police vehicles other than ambulances. The term motor vehicles shall exclude, oops, sorry guys, give me a second. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So shall exclude farm type tractors and all terrain type vehicles used exclusively for agricultural purposes. So basically you can read that what that's saying. A motor vehicle does not include an automobile. So let's go to Title 5, Article 19, 501B. A commercial motor vehicle shall not include. If you weren't clear thus far, here you go again. Title 5, Article 19. Okay? A commercial motor vehicle shall not include a personal use vehicle. So, we're going to stop there and go down. What is a personal use vehicle? Because it says a motor vehicle does not include a personal use vehicle. So if you're going to court and they're saying you were operating a motor vehicle, well, per the definition, I wasn't. Personal use vehicle, a vehicle constructed or altered to be used for recreational purposes, which is exclusively used to transport family members and or personal possessions of such family members for non-business recreational purposes by the operator. I don't know what is going on with my lisp today. Title 5, Article 19, 509, whenever a license is required to operate a commercial motor vehicle. A license is required to operate a commercial motor vehicle. So, I don't know what else. Oh, no person shall operate a commercial motor vehicle without being in possession of the appropriate license for the motor vehicle being operated. I see not one thing about a license to operate or travel in an automobile. I'm just saying, maybe it's me, but I don't see it. So I'm confused as to when people say, oh, you have to do it. The state law says that you have to register and insure your vehicle. Prove it. Show it to me. That's all I'm asking. One, I have to give that person or that uh, company or business or agency or organization permission to have superiority over me. Second, I have to agree to everything that they're laying out. If it's not full disclosure, well, I can't agree to it, right? So, again, this was just a little quick video to, like I said, prove a point um, as to traveling without a license. When you're watching videos and you're confused, for a more in-depth explanation, again, I do offer courses. I am not going to try and cover everything in a video because anyone that does some of this, that does this, that knows that you can't touch one section without touching 20 others. So that's the reason that I can't fit everything into one video. But this is even just this is very, very, very valuable information for one that don't understand or is trying to learn. So I hope this is a clearer understanding as to okay, so let me address something. When I did my video and I was pulled over, one, I had their plates on. So that was the first mistake. The second mistake is I didn't know why they did not have jurisdiction over me. I mean, other than the fact that it was my God-given right, but seeing the his story, I knew that my God-given right wasn't going to be enough because they violate that and take that every day. So your God-given right is great. It's amazing. Will it save you against criminals? Not necessarily. Sometimes you have to use their tactics against them. So that's why it's good, even for our people, to understand, to learn, to know what you're facing. So, for example, when you think you're going to court and you think you're getting a fair situation, you're not. You're getting a bench trial. And if you're getting a bench trial, the judge is making the decision. He's hearing the case, he or she is hearing the case, and they make the decision, which is not the way a supposed court is supposed to operate. So you're already doomed. You're already in something that you don't know about. When I went to traffic court, I heard, well, the traffic place is what I want to call it now, because it's definitely I don't even know if it's court anymore, because what I thought was a court is not even. Anywho, so before the judge imposes his judgment or whatever he says, he makes the people raise their hand and he asks, you swear and blah 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 blah, and then he says, you understand that you're giving up your rights. And time after time, person after person said, yes, I understand I'm giving up my rights. What? I mean, I've done it too, but it's just baffling when you realize what it is you've actually been doing all this time. So, again, um, I'm hoping that this information can help someone along the way. Um, I'll have more videos coming soon, so